Day Live Overtime, sponsored by Alexander's Steakhouse.
How about this? Week 7 of the high school football season already. Welcome to Game Day Live Overtime, 30 minutes of high school football. I'm Kurt Pegler.
And I'm Patrick Cunningham. We're bringing you highlights and analysis of games from all over Central Illinois. We start with a giant game in the Middle Illini.
Yeah, 5-1 Washington at undefeated Dunlap. And many of you saw the game, which was a first-place battle, on CIProud.com, the live stream of the game that we broadcast. And a moment of silence before the game for the man who started all these live streams of high school football on our website, our station manager, Sean Newell. He passed away last week, but it was his idea to start doing live streams online. And so that was a nice, classy move by Dunlap to honor him before the game. After a scoreless opening quarter, Devin Miller boots a 41-yard field goal. That could have been good from 50. Plenty of leg. It's 3-0 Washington early in the second. Dunlap's next drive, Truman Tyler, the quarterback, intercepted by Owen Klein, and the Panthers are in business again after the pick. They turn that into points. Will Freeman, a 48-yard touchdown scamper, and it's a 10-0 Washington lead early in the second quarter. However, the Eagles would answer on the following drive. It's Tyra staying on his feet. This is spectacular. He runs to the far side. He gets in from 38 yards out, and it's a 17-7 game, and that was the halftime score. The Washington defense stops Dunlap on 4th down in Eagles territory in the third quarter, and Freeman scores later from 13 yards out to make it 23-7 Panthers. But Tyra would hit Max Sutter on a couple of big passes in the ensuing drive, including a 33-yard strike to make it 23-15. But that's all the scoring, and the Panthers have sole possession of first place after the 8-point win.
East Peoria and Morton winner is playoff eligible. Teams trading touchdowns early. First drive for the Raiders. Dalton Oakman deep down the field to Aiden Hinhart for the strike. 7-0 East Peoria. But the Potters are going to fire back. Handoff here up the middle to Keenan Smith. Practically untouched here. Extra point was no good, so East Peoria still leads 7-6. 2 minutes later, some trickery. Oakman fakes the halfback toss. It even fooled me. Fooled the Morton defense as well, because it leaves Hindert wide open down the sideline for his second touchdown catch of the first quarter. But the Potters respond in just 2 plays. Brody Fritz to Tommy Krupa for the quick answer. Morton wins 66-32. They are playoff eligible.
We're off to Metamora, where the Redbirds can lock up a playoff berth with a home win over Limestone. It's hard to see Metamora sophomore Mark Ashelman here, but he's going to make his way out into the open and run it up the field. This is a huge play for Metamora. And on the next play, it's quarterback Stephen Petrie keeping the ball, finding the end zone for a touchdown. Then in the second quarter, nobody's going to stop Ashelman this time. He's going to find an opening and leap into the end zone. Metamora is bound for the playoffs after a 49-13 win over the Rockets.
Pekin needs a win over Canton to keep its playoffs hopes alive. Second quarter, Pekin on the receiving end here of this kickoff. This is going to be a nice return from Bobby Martin, but the Little Giants special teams making a play here. Stripped and recovered by Colton Deford. Canton would end up scoring off that turnover. Now Pekin gets the ball back on offense. Chase Kruger gets the give, has some daylight, gets to the edge, picks up the first down. This drive leads to points before the break. Dragons go on to win 30-20. Big game in the Big 12. Bloomington can clinch a playoff spot with a win over Peoria Notre Dame. Find themselves down big, though, trying to come back. Jet sweep to Kevion Chestnut, works his way for the score. Then Keontae Hamilton back to pass. He's going to throw it over the middle here, but it's going to be intercepted by Christian Johnson of the Irish. P&D takes over. Then look at this hole that's opened up for Ben Lukes. Goes untouched, 39 yards for the touchdown. 53-19 Irish. They're playoff eligible at 5-2.
Normal West becomes playoff eligible with a win over Manual tonight. The Wildcats played like a playoff team. Strong stop here by Nolan Howe. That runner was met right at the line of scrimmage. Then on offense, the Wildcats have it, and it's going to be Cody Mulbauer for a 15-yard gain. And on the next play, let's run it on the other side. Ryan Carmona. He's going to be run out of bounds, but not before he hits first down. And then it's going to be Mulbauer again. He gets the gap. He can find the end zone. And the Wildcats are winners. A shutout win tonight, 48-0.
Peoria High is playoff eligible if they can win at home over Champaign Central. Opening drive, this screen pass from Breon Green to Kyrian Woodard. It's going to be a first down. However, the drive would stall out. But after a Lions interception, they get the ball right back. QB keeper by Green. Nice gain here before being forced out of bounds. And then on the very next play, handoff to Melvin Jenkins. Once he hits the edge, you're not catching him. Touchdown Lions. They win 64-27. They're playoff eligible.
To Urbana, Richwoods looks for its second win of the year. The Knights playing at Urbana and driving. Eli O'Donnell to Alex Martinez. This is going to move the sticks for a Richwoods first down. Then they're going to go to the air again. It's O'Donnell to their star wide receiver, Ace Hawks. And he's in the end zone for a touchdown. But watch this. On the ensuing kickoff, a fight breaks out. Multiple players ejected from both teams. Officials had to declare that Urbana had too many players ejected to continue the game. The game is suspended. It will not be determined tonight. The officials will send a report to the IHSA to decide the outcome because it was 14-14 at the time of the brawl.
Lots of green-clad U-High fans at Hancock Stadium for the Pioneers and Decatur Eisenhower. U-High offense was humming. Griffin Meyer delivers an over-the-shoulder pass to Brody Clemenson. That would give them good field position. On the ground, here's Ethan Lavazza dropping the shoulder, getting some extra yards. That sets up Meyer for a direct snap up the middle, run and score, gives the Pioneers the lead. U-High kept it rolling, and they win 55-12. To the small schools, a big upset in Central Illinois tonight.
Yeah, an unreal atmosphere at Olympia. Yeah, they were ready in Stanford as they take on the #1 ranked team in Class 3A, Maroa Forsyth. And how about a massive night for Colin Simpson? Second half, the Spartans are up, and Simpson, the fake, he's going to keep it. Massive hole, he's off to the races, and he's in for a touchdown, his third of the night. And Olympia leads Maroa Forsyth 36-22, and the defense gets a stop, so their offense is back on the field, and Jimmy Lawler goes to work. Up the runway, up the middle, drags defenders, moves the chain. That sets up this play. Simpson, last time he went right, this time he's going left. Great blocking in front. Simpson, a magnet for the end zone, his fourth score of the night. Olympia pulls off the upset. They beat #1 ranked Maroa 50-36.
Undefeated El Paso Gridley at home to play Eureka. Second quarter, EPG's Owen Adams. Screen pass here to Javon Maxson, weaving his way through the defense. We've seen him do this all year long. He is off. Nothing but green grass in front of him for a Titan score. Then Eureka now with the ball. Low snap here. Handoff gets bobbled. EPG's Griffin Hale initially falls on it, but the ball comes loose again. Braden Gibson sees it, picks it up, takes it to the house for the scoop and score. EPG now 7-0 after a 40-0 win.
Speaking of undefeated, 6-0 Ridgeview Lexington on the road to play at Fieldcrest in the Heart of Illinois Conference. First drive for the Mustangs facing fourth down. Drake Powell launches the pass. Blaine Fried-Maskey. He gets a couple of extra yards before being downed in the red zone, so that's a first down. But on the next play, a fumble on the pitch, and it's recovered by Fieldcrest's Zach Overrocker. So the defense comes up with a stop, but the Mustangs would come up with a defensive stop and then get the ball back. And Zane Hoffman's going to take this sweep in for a touchdown. And Ridgeview Lexington is now 7-0 after a 43-8 win in Minunk.
Tri-Valley becomes playoff eligible with a win tonight in Tremont. Vikings opening drive, Preston Johnson gets to the outside. He's going to get wrestled down here after a short gain, but it's just enough for the TV first down. Very next play, Tommy Harris, the back now, makes a cut, and he dashes through the Tremont defense, takes this one to the house, untouched, 60-yard score. Vikings win 21-13.
5-1 Hayworth can clinch a playoff berth with a victory at Leroy. Braden Lash is going to get the call for the Hornets here, stays on his feet, breaks a tackle, slammed down, but not till he has a first down. However, that drive would stall. Leroy now on offense as Jack Bogema gets to the outside. This is a nice run, but the Hornets defense is going to poke it free and fall on it for the turnover. The Hornets couldn't take advantage, though. Lash gets another run for a first down here. Leroy wins the game 14-12 over Hayworth.
The DMAC Chiefs at home against Warrensburg Latham. Chiefs in their camo uniforms tonight. Trailing in the second quarter, but their defense makes a huge play here. Cardinals put the ball on the ground. Keldon Morrell falls on it. The Chiefs are in business. First and goal now for DMAC. A few plays later, it's Sean Dennison off the direct snap. He's going to power his way in for the score. DMAC goes for two. They give it right back to Dennison. Why not? He punches it in again. DMAC wins this one 46-13. Over to the Illini Prairie. Undefeated Central Catholic hosts St. Joe Ogden. This one was a battle until the half. That's a good pass break up there by Caden Lee. Spartans would give the Saints a run for their money, but it didn't bother Central Catholic any. Hard run here from Keyshawn Manny, and then next play, Manny throws it to Creighton Schneerly, who reverses it to the lineman, Xavier Vogel. He'd get the Saints first down on a 9-yard run. We're opening up the playbook. Central Catholic would press on the gas after the half and win it 67-28.
Pontiac faces off against Monticello. A.J. DeLong to Jaden Reed. Big gain in a Monticello territory, a late hit, and so there's going to be some yardage put on that after the penalty. Wow, a lot of bounds play like that. However, Pontiac's going to fall by a final score of 27-6. The Sages beat the Indians tonight.
Elmwood Brimfield at home against Ottawa Marquette. Ottawa on offense here. Up the middle they go. Gavin Strom makes a nice play in the backfield to shut the play down. Then later, another Ottawa handoff, but again, he's going to get met by multiple Trojans who come together to make the play. But it was a tough night for the Elmwood Brimfield defense as they fall 51-6.
Jade Nord and Stark County can clinch a playoff berth with a home win against Rushville Industry. And this is quarterback Ben Browning of the Rebels. A quick pass to Chase Holmstrom, but he's wrapped up right away. And that Rebels offense really never got going tonight. They had a hard time also stopping the running attack of Rushville Industry. Mainly this guy, Sebastian Berto. He is gone down the sidelines for a long touchdown early in the game. It set the tone for a 54-19 Rushville win over the Rebels. To Peoria Heights, where the Patriots are playing host to Galva, and in the first quarter, Galva's got the football here, and it looks like they're going to get into the end zone, but Peoria Heights with a nice stop right before the goal line. Peoria Heights senior Gabe Shaver now on offense is going to toss it to senior Ashton Hetty, and he is gone all the way to the end zone for a touchdown. However, Galva would win this one 38-12 over the Patriots.
Now take a look at some of the rest of the games from around the area. We'll first start in the Illini Prairie. IVC on the road at Rock Falls. That was 0-0 at the half. IVC 28 unanswered gets their first win of the year.
Well done, Tim Hines.
Congrats to the Grey Ghosts. Then Farmington on the road at Rova 63-12. How about freshman quarterback Carson Noy? 7 touchdown passes in that game. They're still undefeated. Go to the Lincoln Trail Prairie Land. Abington Avon beats Havana 31-26. Great game there. Princeville falls on the road to undefeated Kewanee Weathersfield 17-14. And then Prairie Central on the road at Rantoul. They get the win 40-6.